In 1988, the world was severely disrupted by one of the earliest password hackings of the modern era, possibly before many of you were even born. I know password hackings are as expected these days as guacamole on nachos, but back in '88, this was a big deal. Robert Tappan Morris, a graduate student at the time, released a program from inside the MIT campus dubbed the Morris Worm. He was hoping to highlight the glaring gaps in computer security at the time. The worm, a kind of malicious software, was able to guess passwords using something called a dictionary attack, and then spread itself across the internet like jam on a hot scone. A dictionary attack is simply using a list of common words and phrases in different combinations to try and guess someone's password, because a lot of people have weak passwords made from dictionary words. An automated dictionary attack trying hundreds if not thousands of words a second can crack passwords very efficiently. In the end, Morris was the first person convicted under the Computer Abuse and Fraud Act in 1990. You're probably thinking, well, that's a cool story and I probably should go update my passwords, but why are you telling me this? Well, my hacker friends, today I'm going to teach you a new liquid filter and show you how you can use it for password hacking and dictionary attacks. You know it's cool? Learning a new liquid filter you didn't know about, SHA-256. And you know what's also hot right now? Hacking. So I thought I'd smush these two together in the interest of efficient learning and teach you Shacking 256. And disclaimer, as obvious as it is, don't use the information in this video to go off and try and hack things. Instead, use it as motivation to go update that MySpace password you've had since high school. You know who you are. So here we are in Braze, but you could probably do this in any other tool that uses Liquid, like Shopify, for example. Well, after this video, Liquid might get banned from all tools, so I'd probably get in quick. And here's the liquid filter you've probably never heard of, SHA-256, or Secure Hash Algorithm 256. This filter creates an encrypted hash, a code of sorts that's 64 characters long. But what's really cool is no matter what you feed it, it's always 64 characters long. So why 256, you're probably asking? Well, each character takes up 4 bits of data, and 4 times 64 is 256. Let me show you an example. We do curly braces and percentage sign, we do a sign, hashed password equals pizza, and we put in the pipe because we're putting in a liquid filter, and we put SHA-256. Then we'll render hashed password, and we get a 64 character long string. This is actually a common use for SHA-256 hashing to turn passwords into an encrypted string of characters, rather than store the actual password itself. So if someone breaks into the server, they get a list of encrypted hashes that are 64 characters long, not the actual passwords. But more on how that's not perfect in a minute. So when a user comes along next time to log in, it doesn't use their password, it SHA-256 hashes their password and compares the two hashes, the one in the database and whatever they entered. If the hashes match, what they entered as their password must be the same as the password they stored. And just to prove SHA-256 hashing will always be 64 characters long, here's a paragraph of text using the SHA-256 filter. You can even SHA-256 hash videos or gigabytes of data. It doesn't really matter. It will always be 64 characters long. And that's really good for developers because they know that no matter how long or short someone's password might be, it's always going to be stored in the database as a 64 character string. But here's the catch. Hashing is a one-way process.
That's one way.
You can't unhash a SHA-256 hash to see what the original data was. You can only compare the hash to other hashes to see if they match. But this is also why it's great for passwords and other sensitive data, because you never see the original data and you can't go backwards to it. So theoretically, only the end users know what was entered into the computer in the first place. So you could use this to store sensitive entries in something like a custom attribute, or send a document with a SHA-256 hash digital signature so the end user can compare it to what was sent to make sure it's the actual original copy. Okay, so now that you're a hashing expert, let's get on with why you're really here. Let's crack some passwords. Here I'm assigning hashed password entered to POSA to imitate the user misspelling their password pizza when they enter it. Using the pizza password SHA-256 hash we created earlier, we can compare that hash and the SHA-256 hash of the word POSA to see if they match. I'm just using a basic if-else statement for this because it's only one word. If hashed password equals hashed password entered, say the passwords match. Else, say the passwords do not match. If we run that, you can see the correct hash from the password pizza does not match the hash of the misspelt POSA. If you look closely, you'll see that even though POSA is only one character different, the hash is entirely different. If we compare the characters in a very advanced hacking tool that I call MS Paint, you'll see that only 5 characters out of the 64 are identical and in the same places. Just because you couldn't spell pizza, you ding dong.
Bruh.
The point here is that SHA-256 hashing is really encrypted, like stupid encrypted. Unless you already have a list of hashed passwords you can compare the hashes to. Let's look at dictionary hacking. This is where hackers steal your hashed passwords and get a list of common words that have already been hashed and then compare the hashes together to work backwards. The list they use is often called a rainbow table. To be honest, I really thought it was going to include unicorns and glitter and sparkles, maybe a dolphin. So first off, I got a list of 1,000 random words. Actually, maybe it was 10,000. I don't know. I need more coffee. I originally tried to get a list of the most common passwords, but turns out some of them were way too offensive for this video. I've assigned the list of random words to a variable called common passwords and added a split filter at the end, splitting at the comma. So the loop we are about to create knows where each word starts and ends. This is sort of our rainbow table, and even though these are not SHA-256 hashed already, we're going to do that ourselves. It's an example where the user has entered their password as spell check, and we have SHA-256 hashed the word spell check, and here is the hash. Now here is the fun part, and you'd be surprised how little liquid it takes to do this. We create a loop that takes each common password in the common passwords list, it then SHA-256 hashes the word, and takes it from the list. Each hash is then compared to the hash of whatever the user entered, and if the hashes match, bingo, we just hacked your password. And if they don't, it'll let us know. So in our case, we're using the word spell check, and assume I only know the word and I need to SHA-256 hash it myself. You can see the loop is running and it's checking each word, and boom, spell check is a match because the hashes match. We can change the word to any word that's already contained in this list. Let's try golden. And boom, the hashes match. Imagine you had a super powerful computer with a powerful GPU and a giant list of pre-hashed passwords. You can see that it wouldn't take long to start figuring some of these out. But even though you're not going to leave here and hack passwords, it's a great way to show you the power of encryption, especially using the SHA-256 filter that's inside Liquid. If you have sensitive data you need to store and you don't need to see what it is, but the user needs to enter something, this can be a great way to encrypt it and store it. If you want to store passwords, digital signatures, data verification, crypto, Bitcoin, NFT, bros, then hashing is your friend. Hashing is actually a key component of the blockchain, and that's how they store things securely because they match all the hashes. If you got this far, I have a challenge for you. Here is a list of 10 words, and here is a SHA-256 hash. I want you to go away, figure out what word that is from the list, post it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video and got some value from it, maybe learn a few stories along the way, it'd be great if you could hit like and subscribe because it really helps the channel out. And one last thing, the safest way to securely store your passwords is to